Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to It's So Real
with your boy Oso
and your girl Rocqi.
What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the show.
Yes, I know we've been gone for a minute because I went back home to Maryland. Hey.
She did. I was a witness to it. I saw her leave.
And saw me come back.
Yes. So she's back. So the show is back.
Yes.
You're back. And we came back with a spicy episode. Spicy one. Yes.
Spicy meatball.
Spicy, yes, very spicy.
But before we get into the spice, remember to check out our Finding Balance series. Mm-hmm. All of it definitely goes in a more growth perspective of this topic. Of course, we're going to hit you with the growth, but that one really is looking at self-reflection and who we want to be moving forward within our relationships, and as women and as men.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Church announcements before we start?
Church announcements. Make sure you subscribe to Life is Rocqi as well as the It's a Real Podcast YouTube channels. On my personal Life is Rocqi YouTube channel, I have my Becoming a Feminine Woman series where I'm talking about today's topic in depth.
Oh, yeah.
In multiple frames of minds, and
definitely
definitely check that out and subscribe. And please share. I feel like these conversations definitely need to be had, especially having both perspectives presented, and then of course our perspective coming from therapists, also having a healthy relationship, a more balanced relationship, but also women hearing it from women, because men are talking about it a lot right now, and I think women need to self-reflect and talk to one another. So here I am offering that to you. So if this is on it will be, because we're putting our full podcast videos on our YouTube channel. It's a Real Podcast. Subscribe. I will put the link to my Becoming a Feminine Woman series in the description box below.
For me, I actually don't have any church announcements right now. I'm just studying for my licensure exam right now, so I'm kind of preoccupied with that. Plus, I'm starting a business class as well, so I'm just like really
leveling up.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, this is a time for me to learn stuff. I've gotten a lot better on the guitar, you know.
Yes, it has. It's sounding beautiful.
Yeah, so
it's like I was gone and you done did something.
Yeah, you know, practice, baby, practice. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of stuff I'm doing is kind of like behind the scenes, so that the things in the front stage on the show when I need to present stuff is ready. But right now we're doing kind of backstage stuff, so just bear with me. Stuff's coming. Some big stuff is coming, especially when it comes to my music and when it comes to smart love and relationships and talking and going out to people and asking questions. Kind of gave it away just there. I'm getting stuff set up so that I can do that all around Oakland. Just ask people about relationships. So, yeah.
All right.
But let's get today's show started, because I'm excited about this topic. I really want to go into it. I'm going to try to be as honest and give my male perspective as much as I can, because you know this is my shit right here. Woo! We about to get
Alright, so
it.
before we get into it, okay. I think we need to set up some of the background of how we grew up, just so people are aware of our perspective that we're bringing in.
Yeah.
Okay?
That makes sense.
So, for me, I would definitely before have identified as a modern woman.
Dun, dun, dun.
Meaning I was very much into my masculine energy when it came to my education, when it came to my career. I was very much in tune with it to the point that it showed up in my relationships, and I got that feedback from my exes. So I'm aware that is how I was representing. Now, my mom was more of the traditional wife, more feminine energy, dominant. And my sister, who is married, she's definitely the modern woman through and through. But because I grew up with my mom, my sister's 17 years older, so I didn't grow up with her in the house. So for women in the house, it was my mom. So I saw some of the feminine. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't. So I saw that. I also had a lot of practice in my feminine energy, just being around children, dancing, artistry, that kind of stuff. So I wasn't totally masculine, which my sister more is. Mm-hmm. I had moments where I was like, well, I like these things about feminine energy. So now I've acknowledged that I want to be balanced as a person and as a partner. So that's how I'm moving forward. But what was your upbringing with your mom?
Okay.
And how she was as a woman, a wife, a mother? Tell us about that.
So my mom, I think, is kind of similar to yours, like very feminine. She, it's not that she couldn't work, it's just that she, I think, felt like the real life example or experience of the sacrifices that comes with trying to work. Because I'll tell a quick story before we get into it. But like, there was a point where I forgot what my mom looked like when I was younger, like either 2 or 3, and she tells the story. Told the story about me to me when I was older, and said that it was because she was away working, and then for some months, and then came back, and then when she held me, I was crying, fidgeting, like, who the fuck is this? Like, stranger danger, nigga. and she's just like, as a mom, you gotta think about that. That's kind of heartbreaking. Like, your child is like,
doesn't remember you.
Like, yeah, it doesn't really fuck with you, does not remember you and all that. So then it just hit her like, what's more important to me right now? Like, this whatever. I don't even know what she said. I don't even think maybe I don't remember it. Maybe she mentioned what it was, but something that she was doing it was pertaining to work. And she just realized
she was traveling.
Yeah, she was traveling. It had something to do with work or something. And she just was like, "This isn't worth it. Like, I want to be at home. I want to invest in my child and my family." So from then on, like, obviously, all I saw was like just my mom being very nurturing, caring about like what we drank and ate and all that other stuff, providing that nurturing environment. So she was very much feminine. She also was someone who loved to go to church in her dresses and all those other things like that. So my mom was more on the feminine side. Masculine energy on her side maybe came out in discipline. But other than that, she's very kind.
And I guess, how was your dad with her feminine energy? Because, like, my mom, she did work still, but my dad was like, you don't have to. Like, you could just stay home. So, yeah. Like, how was it with your parents?
My dad is very masculine in terms of like work ethic and like stoic just presentation. You know what I mean? But I think he's not masculine in some areas, or he's very feminine in other areas when it comes to like maybe indecisiveness and like he's definitely a leader by like default, but he's not somebody who's gonna, and maybe this is where I get it from, like he's not somebody who's gonna maybe be intentional about leading in a certain direction. You know what I mean? He'll more look towards like compromising and cooperation on a decision versus like I had this opinion that I know I feel like really strongly about.
And that would be more of that feminine energy, yes.
Yeah.
And again, go back to how to have a balanced relationship in our Finding Balance series, where we talk about like feminine and masculine energy isn't solely based on your gender, genitalia, hormones, none of that. It's something that we all carry within us, and it's certain times within our relationships, within our education, our career, certain times in life where it's more beneficial to have one over the other or a bit of both.
Right. Picky spots.
Exactly.
But yeah, like naturally, for the most part, most men and women have like those balances where it's like, when it comes to the dominance, women usually have more female dominant energy.
Feminine
energy. And then men have more masculine dominant energy. So, and then I think my dad liked just my mom being the way she is, like the kind, cooperative parts of her, because they barely argue. The times they argue is when my dad's being late or indecisive about something. Usually like that femininity maybe kicking in and brushing up against like that.
Yeah.
So maybe.
And mama now, what's mama doing now? Because her boys are grown.
Yeah. Right now she's still like there's just some mothering nature around her. So right now she's still in Guyana, like taking care of kids, teaching kids, like trying to educate them and bring them up to speed when it comes to their education. Doing stuff through the church still, and doing her own thing when it comes to business. I think that slowed down a little bit because of Corona, but Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think she's still able to kind of feed all aspects of her passions and desires um, as she's getting older, which is kind of dope to me. Okay. That's what I think she deserves.
Okay. All right, so I think it's important to know that both of our moms were more feminine dominant energy.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the actual nitty gritty. All right, so we're going to start with our two sides of the same coin. And remember, that's when we flip a coin, and whoever calls it and gets it is the one who answers the question first. Whoever wins the two sides, like wins 2 out of 3 coin tosses, answers first in our next segment, either or. All right, you want to call it?
I'm going to go with heads today.
All righty. What we got?
Drum roll, please. Heads, baby. Yeah. Finally, I won one. Let's go.
Yeah, last episode.
If y'all been watching the show on YouTube, you know I don't win these.
Yeah. All right, so the first question is, why don't modern women want to be housewives?
Oh, man. Why don't modern women want to be housewives? Okay. So, first off, what my interpretation of modern women, I have to break that down first so that y'all know, and then I'm going to go into why I think they don't want to be housewives. Mm-hmm. So I think modern women right now are women who are career based, like they put their career first. That's career like driven. Career driven. That's the word I was looking for. Mm-hmm. I got you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. They're career driven, so that's like their primary focus within their lives. Mm-hmm. They're well educated.
Mm-hmm. 2 degrees, 3 degrees, businesses.
Mm-hmm. They take pride in being independent. That's
yes. INDEPEND. You know what that means?
You know all that. And they have a level of masculinity to them because I think all those kind of coincide.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's masculine energy for sure.
So that's why I describe as like the typical modern woman. Mm-hmm. So I think the modern woman doesn't want to be a housewife because of the power dynamic that is associated with being a housewife.
Tell me more.
So back in the day, we all know that the dynamics...
I wanted to go first. Go ahead!
Back in the day, we all know that the dynamics used to be different. Mm-hmm. And there used to be like a primary breadwinner, usually the person who could do the most physical labor, and who could do the things that the labor market demanded at the time, which was factory, hard lifting, coal planting, mining, all this other stuff, oil rig, all this...
Very valid.
You know what I mean? Construction, all these very physically demanding roles. Mm-hmm. So once that was in place, the dynamic became, okay, just out of necessity. One partner does the work to get the money and the resources and to build that up so that the home can be secure. And then one partner secures the actual home. Make sure that the home is good inside. So that means taking care of laundry, clothes, children, being able to be in charge of their education, etc. But that's why you wanted to choose like that type of partner if you were a guy. Like, you know, but we'll get into that later. And that was the dynamic. Then, you know, the war came, and then there was a transition where ain't no men. So women literally had to work. The economy couldn't just stop and grind to a halt. So women had to go into the workforce. And then when the men came back, the war was over. You had this clash all over again. Where it's like, okay, well, I'm working, but he working. So what we want to do? And that started the dynamic. And then as time moved forward, feminist movement, all these other things came about. I'll let you go off into it because I want to step on your talking points. I know you got them ready, about to be like all up on them. So, you know, I ain't going to do too much. You know, I ain't going to step on your toes. But yeah, all that came about. And then to this day, we still have these dynamics that are struggling, except now I think it's even flipped more so towards like the education being so important and women becoming way more educated. Like colleges are flooded with women, and that leading to them getting more higher paying jobs. And even if because we talk about the wage gap and all those things, which we can get to, even if on average men are getting paid more women now than ever are getting paid more than
ever before
than the men. And the men who really aren't getting paid are really not getting paid. Like so if you're like a quote unquote loser guy, which I don't use, but that's a term that people have. Like, you don't have a job, you're down, you're just down. Like, you're not in a good place right now. You're really low, and it seems like you're really, really low, because even women, as it was before, as the dynamic, the ones who didn't have an advantage, even they are whooping your ass. It's kind of like a bruise to the ego. So all that comes together, and now women, just like how it has like a little bruise to the ego for the guy who's lower, there's also a boosted ego for the women who are now here, because they're like, I'm a boss. I came up despite all those circumstances. So why would I go back down to the level of, and that's the way they see Housewives. They look at it as a downgrade to a status that no longer serves all the values that got them to this place of privilege and, access that they had before. The, parties, the rooftop parties, the champagne, traveling, your own place, your own apartment, your dog, your I know, I have IG, goddammit. I see y'all living your best life, but you might not be able to find a partner because some men might be looking for more of the housewife status, and you're like, that conflicts with what brings my whole idea of what freedom and joy and independence and all that means for me. So that's why I think there's such like
that's a good point.
Such a fight to not be put in that housewife box.
So it's a downgrade.
Yeah, it's perceived as a downgrade. Whether it is or not,
that's true. Yeah,
is up to interpretation.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say so. But hey, it's just me. I'm a guy, so a little biased.
All right. So why don't modern women want to be housewives?
Yes.
So yes to everything you said. So for me, because again, I was once a modern woman. For me, it's like an instinctual gut reaction to being solely financially dependent on somebody else. Where it's like, individually, that's not smart for me. Because historically, that hasn't been smart for women. Like, historically, men have left women. Historically, men have died. And if you're solely dependent on somebody else and you have no other stream of income, you're solely dependent. Like, that's just not wise in this world. It's not. Like, that's not taking care of you, because you don't know what's going to happen to him. So it's not wise. To the point, my parents were married for 35 years. They got divorced after that. My dad told my mom not to invest in her 401k, saying that he would take care of her. And she didn't. And now she's 60 plus, and she's getting to retirement age. And during the divorce, because she did have an affair, my dad took all of it away. So now we do have lands in North Carolina, which is owned by the family, but she has to consider selling that land in order to have money for her retirement. And I'm like, one, that's a dick ass move on my father, because the fuck, I don't give a shit what happens romantically with us. Like, if I said I'm gonna do something for you that impacts your fucking life, like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, well, you know how it is when matters of the heart come about. That pain, that jealousy, that hurt.
Yeah, well, grow, motherfucker, grow. Be a better person.
Shit. If you all good, and then when that shit hit, you be like, I can't stand. I can't.
But if this is someone I love, why would I want to hurt them like that? Just because they hurt me. I want to be better than they were. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I like firsthand. Not only do I know of the historical reference, I have firsthand reference that that is not a good idea. To be solely dependent on a man. Be solely dependent on somebody else outside of you for your life. Like, financially. Like, it's just, yeah. So, And I feel like a lot of women have stories like that, where we know of stories like that. Like, it's just like gut reaction. No, I can't. Like, because I'm not looking out for me. You know, I'm just like, there's levels to trust. Like, yes, I trust you not to do that to me, but I also have to respect my own boundaries. I also have to look out for myself and take care of myself. So I think that's why that financial dependence is why a lot of modern women do not want to be housewives, because they refuse to be dependent on a man. However, what I am striving towards is passive and residual income individually. We're striving that together, but I'm also striving for it individually. So that way I can be more present at home. And I don't have to work as much, but I still have my own income coming in, right? So that's what I would say for one. Let me see if I had any others. Oh no, that was it. Yep. All right. Okay. So yeah. So I would say that's why they don't want to be housewives, because of the financial dependence.
Okay. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. You know, that's part of it.
All right, next question.
What's up?
I'm gonna call.
Yeah.
Tails.
Didn't see that coming.
Shut it.
Watch it be heads. Watch out with all of them this say. Watch. Let's go.
What is heads? Damn it. All right.
Gang. Y'all see that?
So, really?
What's up?
All right, so the next question is, why can't modern women allow men to lead?
Woo! How much time you got? All right, modern women. Come here, we need to talk. Modern women, why can't they or won't they allow a man to lead? That's the question.
Sure. Won't, can't, I don't know.
Won't, can't? Okay. All right. Just don't want to kick that. It was open, you know. So the reason why modern women can't or will not allow a man to lead is because they're insecure about their actual desires. And it's kind of hard to admit that. It's like they want a guy, and they always say it, but their actions kind of don't mirror it. So let me explain. They say they want a guy who can handle them, right? So in essence, somebody who is dominant, who is masculine, and who would, in all other senses and all other, I guess, scenarios, would be like the breadwinner, the one who takes care of things and could take care of you. So someone who could take care of you, but doesn't necessarily say that you have to be a housewife. That's what they want. Most modern women is like, I want a guy who has all these, you know, grandiose things and is up on that pedestal, but I still don't want to like follow him, if that makes sense. I want him to be on my program. So if I am doing something, he's doing it already, or like we're already aligned in that way, and he's not forcing me to stay in this box of being a housewife. So they want a guy who is more dominant and assertive and successful, etc., etc., etc. But even then, they wouldn't submit to that guy because they don't feel like they're... I'm trying to make sure my point's clear. Like, I feel like I'm mixing it up. All right, so they don't feel like that guy necessarily is... They still won't submit to him because they're insecure about, like, giving up their power, even if they do meet a guy who's worthy of giving it up to, if that makes sense. So it's the dream guy.
But why don't they give that up?
It's just the insecurity. Like, they still feel like if you put the power and the independence on a pedestal, like the idea of all that on a pedestal, and then you hold on to that, to let that go means that you letting go of all power. Even if that means getting the thing that you say that you want. It's too hard.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the guy who's like super on the other end of the spectrum, spectrum, like super on the toxic red pill shit. Not on the regular red pill of awareness, but like on some women need to just bow down and do all this other shit like that. You're missing out on a potential woman who wants more of a partnership and like cooperation because you want to feed your ego because you've put on the pedestal this image of power so high. So you're missing out on a good woman as well. So it goes both ways, but it's about like what you put on a pedestal. So like what your highest value is determines what you're willing to negotiate within a relationship. So if your highest value is your independence and your self-sufficiency, then you're not going to be willing to relinquish that in the hopes of gaining all the other aspects of the relationship that you want. So that's why you find it so hard. You put this thing, and you know, it's society as well. Like we've all kind of like, you know, single ladies it up for a little bit. So hey, you know, we've all kind of put that on a pedestal of like independence, you know, self-sufficient, single mom, blah 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 blah, whatever else it is, and it's held to such a high regard that any chipping away of that, any compromise of that is seen as like, oh, well, you can't handle me. Or, no, I ain't changing. You know, it's just like an attack. And we haven't even done any analysis on whether holding that up to such high regard is worth it. Yeah. Is it really worth it? We just put it on that pedestal. So that's why I think modern women couldn't get it right. Sorry for the confusion at the beginning. I was trying to figure out a way to word it to get it. I think I broke it down better at the end, so like skip to this part. But yeah, it was on the fly. I was trying to explain it correctly. I hope that comes through clearly for everybody listening.
So yeah, they have issues relinquishing that power, right? Because
so yeah, they put stuff on a pedestal, and the independence, all those stuff on a pedestal. So therefore, that is that's their North Star. That's the way that they're dictating how any direction a relationship goes. So any chipping away at that prized possession of independence and self-sufficiency, they're like, oh hell no, he's not right for me. When really that's just like an insecurity. Like that's you putting something of too much value, something that doesn't necessarily have that much value, up on a pedestal. It's the same thing as a guy who puts too much beauty up on a pedestal. Like, oh, I can't date a girl who, unless she's like a 10. Right, there ain't that many 10s, my nigga.
But how does that relate to an insecurity though?
It's like it's almost like delusion. Like
I get.
You know what I mean? But it's based off of like a false sense of reality. If you're able to digest reality, then you're no longer insecure about it. Like, yo, if I'm skinny, I'm no longer insecure about being skinny. But if I have to put on a personification of like, oh, I'm big, or y'all are all small, or all these women just can't handle all my muscles, like what the fuck? Then that's something wrong with me. You know what I mean? So if I'm able to accept reality, then therefore I can act on my reality to improve and better myself, or shift, or accept the fact that I won't get it. But most of these women can't do that. They can't say, this is my pedestal and nobody else is worth it. I'll be single, I'll be alone, I'll be happy. They're complaining like a motherfucker. Which means that maybe your value is way too high and you need to switch it and adjust it.
Okay. It's hard to follow, but
I know. Like my examples are getting better as I'm talking it out. Like the example with like a guy who thinks
that didn't help me.
Well, I thought it would help other people. I don't know. You have different examples that work for you. So
sometimes it don't be clicking. But all right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Y'all let me know. Did I explain it better? I know I didn't explain it good at the beginning. I even felt like I need to slow down so I could explain it. But at the end, I feel like I explained it pretty well. Okay. Y'all let me know in the comments below.
All right. So why can't or won't modern women allow men to lead?
Yeah. She be having notes. Mine's on the fly.
I do. Yeah, I gotta prepare. So I think, and I may get some heat for this, but I think that there are a lot of mediocre men out there.
Damn. Okay, coming in hot.
Yes.
Let me get some of that water. Hold on.
I think there are a lot of mediocre men out there.
And that, fellas.
When I say that, I mean men who don't try, men who aren't consistently trying to become the best versions of themselves. Like, men who aren't doing any reflection work, emotional growth work, etc., etc. So women are leveling up, you know, in ways, and yes, the workforce has changed where it's transitioned from a lot more blue collar to white collar, where it's a lot more mental power than it is physical, or mental labor versus physical labor.
It's more so like desk task oriented. Yeah.
And that is something that not only women were doing, and this misconception, okay, yes, there may have been certain members of black society, and that usually was the more affluent ones, who were housewives. But by large, how many black women throughout history were housewives? Like, please somebody come to me with the facts on that. Because I'm like, we've been working since we was in enslavement, so...
Somebody else's housewife.
Exactly. Like, where was we just chilling at home? Please let me know in the comments below. I would like to know. Because I'm like...
play mammy for them.
You know? And I'm like, shit. Teachers, working in the church, maids or any domestic workers, still working in the fields. Like, where were black women housewives? Like, again, please let me know. So, because I'm...
Just, like you said earlier, just the affluent place.
Like, that's why I'm like, what? But anyways.
Must be nice.
Right?
For some.
And usually that got a bigger target on your head. So, we are in this country. But anyways, so... Black women have been leveling up where we have been going and getting these degrees. We have been getting these big positions in big companies and becoming our own business owners and stuff. So like there has been a growth professionally and educationally with women. Now, not all men are doing that. So sometimes what's happening is the mediocre men are seeing women leveling up and they're just shitting on the women leveling up versus leveling up themselves.
There you go.
And it's with those men specifically. And this may be going to what you were trying to say.
Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. That's when they try to control women. Because their sole reason of a woman submitting or a woman following their lead is because they are a man.
Right. That's not it, homie.
Like, and I'm like, but what are you doing too? So I would say that's why a lot of modern women won't allow a man to lead. It's because some of these men aren't like, why would I follow you? Especially when you're coming from the place of trying to control me.
Right.
Like, I got authority issues. No.
A lot of people do.
Like, no. You're not, no. And I tell this to Oso all the time. The guy before him, couple guys before him, when I was in grad school, while I was in grad school, said he didn't want, it wasn't a didn't want. He said his wife can't work more than a part-time job. And he wants her to be barefoot and pregnant for 5 years. And I was like, in my head, you know I'm in grad school about to start my profession, right?
Maybe he didn't want kids till later.
So he got cut to the curb. But meanwhile, I'm very excited to be barefoot and pregnant, bro. So
I wonder what the difference was.
You didn't try to control me or put me in a box.
That's the thing. All right, so all the fellas watching, it's like, you don't have to ask necessarily. You may have to ask. I did have to ask you. You know. Sometimes you be just tripping.
Well, I have grown.
Yes. You don't have to ask a woman to submit. Like, usually, if you're doing your stuff, you're on your purpose, and you're doing things correctly, she'll want to submit because she wants to be, again, kind of like on your program. And for me, being on my program is you having me supporting a program of your own. So I never wanted some, if that makes sense. Like, I am someone, if this is a company, like, sure, you're joining this company, but I never wanted you to not. It's like me buying off like a little company. Like, you had your own company, and I'm buying you up. I'm like, all right, cool. So like, I'm the parent company. Cool, we're doing things, but I still want you to do your own business. Like, you're not stopping yourself.
I have so much resistance to what you just said.
See? See? Prime example. But it's like, it's still the same thing. It's still like, we're not necessarily working. We're not working. What is your resistance? Let's get this out the way right here. Let's go. Let's talk about it now.
Why are you a parent company buying me up?
Because you're getting onto the program of me.
No.
You didn't let me explain my program.
Okay.
I said my program includes you having your own program.
Yes, but why are you a parent company buying me up? When I have my program, you have your program, we come together and create a program together.
We are creating a program together, but I'm leading. That's why.
All right, so I can't.
Are you seeing it?
I
look
can't.
You look at the evidence.
I can't.
Look at the evidence.
I cannot.
What is the resistance?
Okay, so this was going to be my next point.
Do I not lead?
This was going to be my next point. And again, this goes back to
ahead.
how to have a balanced relationship.
This is perfect. Because y'all are seeing this in real time. I didn't even say nothing crazy. I gave an example. No. She lost it. She was like, I can't.
Okay. So, again,
were just explaining the same thing too.
My second point, so why modern women can't allow men to lead, is because we view it as a partnership. There is no hierarchy. It's understanding that we can both co-lead. We both have strengths in different leadership areas, and it's like, yes, we both lead. However, I have acknowledged that in our relationship growth, you are the leader.
So what the problem is?
You're spanning that to like all of it, and it's like,
when did I say all of it?
The program.
Did I even get to finish explaining what my program was?
You didn't.
Huh? You just got what?
Triggered.
Boom. Y'all see what I'm talking about? And she's someone who's working at it. Imagine the rest of them. Woo! Lord. I didn't even say nothing.
Because, especially, like, we've talked about it before with the podcast, with our therapy stuff. Like, I was already doing it and you were already doing it. So, like, as far as, like, getting onto your program, I do feel like we came together.
Okay.
So why do you feel like a parent company buying my smaller one?
Because I make a lot of the decisions. I am the leader in our relationship.
But that doesn't have to do with our business.
Yes, it does. You want to be in a relationship with me, right?
Yes.
That includes business, correct?
I mean, you could compartmentalize it.
So, do you want to, like, not be together right now and just do business?
No.
Okay, then. So you can't under my program. I'm the leader of the relationship you just said, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because guess what? I'm not trying to take over your business, in my analogy. In my program, your business is still your business. I want you to do your own thing. I'm just a parent company above. That's all I'm saying. That's all I was trying to say. You just proved my point.
What?
I'm not trying to control nothing. I'm just naturally leading, and therefore the parent company was like, okay, well, if you want to get on this program and do stuff with me, let's do it. That's it. Because I didn't come to you saying, like, oh, I want a relationship with you and to build business with you and all the other things. I was like, I'm doing these things over here. I was just doing these things. I would have been doing these things regardless. But you were like, man, this is exactly what I wanted. I really want to be part of this company.
Okay, so yes, I did once, and remember, I'm bisexual and polyamorous. So specifically with a man, I did want to build professionally with a man. And, like, but again, it was like I was still doing what I was doing. Like, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I had my own vision for what I want to do as far as the child care center and classes and all that stuff. Like, I already had my program as well. And
I understand. What's part of my program? That you have your own program, right?
Yes.
So I'm not negating anything that you're just saying.
But yes. Why is it? Even in, yes, you're a leader in our relationship.
So this is the point. This goes back to, like, you wanted a guy to have all these things,
yes.
but you don't want to give up the little inch of like not even nothing. I'm still not even controlling her. She's still like, I don't want to give away thought of the kind of similarity of the idea of control. I'm not even saying nothing.
I just don't like the hierarchy aspects.
I know, but it's an actual reality in our relationship dynamic. Not like hierarchy in terms of I'm more important. Just like I am a leader. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I'm just the leader in our relationship. Because think about it. If I wasn't doing all this stuff, you wouldn't want to be with me anyway.
I mean, no.
That's what I'm saying.
I've actually passed on guys because they weren't in the same field. They weren't doing what I wanted professionally, like the area that I wanted to go, how I wanted to impact people. Yeah.
Think about it. The mics, audio, the camera.
I'm so thankful. I had the idea for the podcast. I wanted to do it with a man. I was obviously had the voice for it. But all the background and technology bit, I was like, can I just show up and record?
And this is what I'm saying. Like, it's not, and I'm not saying this like, as in like, I could replace you or anything like that. I'm just saying like.
Because you could.
Yeah, because you're unique. And I understand that. But I'm saying I could have done the podcast with somebody else. Because our roommate asked to do a podcast with me.
She did. Like the first day. She met him. And I was like, excuse me?
That's not the first time I've been offered that. Because like other people see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Which is why you came on board. Which is what I'm just saying. Like people understand and they see that. So if I didn't have any of this together, you wouldn't be wanting to be under my leadership anyways. But in order to have somebody lead, you have to give up what? Some level of control. It's okay. Because guess what? If you didn't want them to lead in the first place, you wouldn't be there. So that's the pedestal that you're having is like, oh, control is so much worth it. It's not worth the fight is what I'm trying to say. I give control all the time. Do y'all see me arguing about little petty shit? Fuck no. And when you have an attitude, do I go tit for tat with you?
You sure don't. You be like, well, I'm going to leave you and your feelings and go over there.
Fellas, for what? That's what I'm saying. So it's like...
He's always like, you going to argue by yourself.
What? For what? For what?
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Control, independence is so on the pedestal. It's like, oh, y'all be worshiping it.
Well, no.
Y'all be like,
my thing is I reject the patriarchy because of the hierarchy and superiority complex. So anything that resembles a hierarchy, I'm like, why can't it be a partnership? Why can't they be on the same level?
Why do you look at a pyramid and say it's unfair that the top brick is at the top? Or do you just respect the structure? Every brick has its purpose. And then again, none of them is less than the lower brick is lesser than the top brick. No, they're all made out of the same goddamn materials. They just put and fit in the places that they do.
I've never heard that analogy before.
I just made it up.
That's a good one.
See, sometimes they work out. Hey, look, when I'm on the spot, sometimes they gonna work out. Sometimes they're not. You know what I mean? Yeah. We live, dog. We live. Shit. But
okay,
yeah,
all right.
it's like that. That's
that.
You know what I mean? That it's just because the way it's perceived, and that's what's fucking modern women up.
You said it. You said parent. You didn't have to say it like that.
I didn't. But my point is, it's just a structure. It's just a structure. And again, on my program, what I said from the jump is, I don't want somebody who don't got their own shit going. Because I'm literally not a parent.
That's why I'm saying.
I understand.
Language, baby. Language.
I understand. But my point was, the language got you triggered before you even listen to the point.
Yes.
The point is about the structure. That's all.
Well, I like the pyramid example.
Yeah, that pedestal of the control independence, it just needs to get knocked down because it's not worth sacrificing everything else. Because if that was the case, and if I was like super on the other side on that red pill masculine shit, like on the OD just overboard side, I would be like, well, I need a woman who submits to and she needs to have sex exactly when I say like. There's times when you don't want to have sex and I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, I just got to, like, take the L because I'm not trying to do some shit. I'll try to convince you as much as I can now, you know what I mean? Try to do a little thing. Well, I understand my sex drive is higher. But I'm also had a boundary of like, well, if you can't do that, then somebody gotta do it. Yeah. So that's why we polyamorous.
Because I can't.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I didn't give up everything. If I did, then I would have just been, we wouldn't be together, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. It's just that the thing that y'all hold up so near and dear. Oh, my independence. Oh, my independence. Y'all just be clawing for that shit. Like, let that bitch go. Holding all y'all relationships back. God damn. And again, we're in a healthy relationship.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of growth work within the last
how
year.
How bad do you think it is?
Year.
2 therapists. I just want y'all to understand how bad this shit is. Black people, we gotta get it together. Whew.
All right. Out, baby?
Yeah. Okay. I was like, oh no, we live today. Oh, we live today. We going into, all right, let's get into it then.
But yeah, I think, you know, through especially this past year, like looking at your leadership skills as far as our relationship, like one, you have a healthier relationship model that you grew up on.
Shout out to my parents.
Yes, very thankful. And then you also had healthier relationships. Like I had an unhealthy relationship model and I didn't have healthy relationships. So it was like I was really coming at a disadvantage into our relationship, whereas you did have a leg up because of that. So because of that alone, you were leading. Just because you had more experience. You had more of the direction that I wanted to go in. So like I have been aware of how you are leading in our relationship. In terms of the healthier dynamics. And as well as our business. You're very into researching and understanding what we need to do in order to
I'm help, researching right after this, actually.
Yeah, help our businesses grow and things like that. So I'm very thankful and I do understand your leadership in that area. It's just...
feelings.
Yes. Yes.
The feelings.
They are hard
I feel like
to let go.
I feel
the feelings.
Ooh. Ooh.
Alright. Let's go to the damn next question.
Let's do it. Oh, we still got coins left?
Yeah.
Oh man, where we at? What time we got?
I know.
Oh, we running up. We running up this episode. Alright. It's me calling it. I'm gonna go with tails today. This time. Damn, I missed this one. Alright, you got it.
But you want to?
Okay. Yeah, I want to.
Alright, so the next question is, why do some women choose to be traditional wives?
Okay, that's a good one.
So,
you went first. Good.
So first, I want to say that women who do choose to be traditional wives get a lot of heat from modern women.
Hell yeah.
And I used to be one of them because I did not understand it whatsoever.
Wait, hold on. What did you used to say? I didn't know that.
It was more like...
Put the spotlight on her.
It was just more like... It was more like I just didn't get it. Like, I was like, why do you want to... Yeah, be solely dependent and just... To me, it was like you didn't have a voice.
Ooh, oh shit. Now we get some.
But that's because it's coming from a traditional perspective. Whereas why I'm trying to find a balanced new age point of healing moving forward, how we can move forward in our relationships. Because traditionally, yes, women didn't have that much of a voice, you know? So I didn't understand why women would want that. Because I'm like, we just now got to a place where we have a voice and we can speak our truths and we can stand up for ourselves and stuff like that. And it's like, why the fuck would you choose that? So I didn't understand it. Yeah, I didn't understand it.
So did your lack of understanding lead to your disrespect, or not necessarily hatred, but yeah, maybe disrespect of it? Of those who chose that?
Yeah.
So while understanding is so important, y'all, if you understand somebody's point of view, you're less likely to hate or come from that perspective of like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
So
for the women who do choose this, it's because that's what they want. They want to be wives. They want to be moms. They want to be in their feminine energy. They don't want to have to consistently work. Like, working for survival is stressful, you know? And it's like, they don't want that. They want to make the house a home and be a place of peace for when their husband comes home, and want to be with the children and be in that nurturing. Like, as I'm preparing for motherhood, I get it. I'm like, I get, like, right. I told him the other day, like, yeah, I'm ready to have some babies and not work. I'm ready to just be with my child. Like, again, we are creating the infrastructure, so that is possible. But yeah, like, I would appreciate taking time off from work. But it's like, for me, I want to go back to work. Like, I do enjoy what I do, so I don't want to not ever do it again. And then also, I need a break from children. Like, that's also a job, and I don't want to be around them 24/7. Because I hear the stories about single moms who don't have any other adults, and the only person they have ever had a conversation with in like 24 hours is their child. Like, I don't want to experience that, you know? So, like, I think, again, balance. There needs to be a both. But I understand now more why women would choose that because of those instances. And then I also think a lot of women who choose to be traditional wives get a lot of heat is because that is entirely dependent on a man choosing you. Like, is it to be a wife, to be a mom? Yeah. To be a mom within a family, you know, 2-parent household or more. But yeah, like, that's the light went off.
Yeah, it's all good.
But that's entirely dependent on a man choosing you. And because that's outside of your control, whereas like your education and your career is more within your control, I think that's why a lot of modern women look down on women who choose that, because it's like you're literally putting your life in somebody else's hands. And again, not wise. But I when we were preparing for the show, I looked at it as, well, in the work world, you work to become the best employee. You work to be chosen by that employer. You work to be chosen by that school. Like, you are aware of the qualities that they are searching for, right, and you work and you strive towards it. So why couldn't a woman do the same to become a wife and to become a mother? Where she's aware of the certain qualities that men are choosing to be wives, that she's aware of certain qualities that makes a good mom, and she's striving to become it. And I was thinking about it because I was like, well, what do you do in the meantime? Like, so I'm like, I'm going back to school for child development. Now, mind you, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, so I've already been trained in some of this, but I want specific knowledge in child development. And I was like, that alone, if somebody wanted to be a mom, go study that. Like, that would be a great, you know, because like in the meantime, you could also use that for work, you know, if that's something that you really want to do. So I was like, actually, that makes a lot of sense if somebody's strategic about it. And as far as becoming a wife, I would be aware of gender studies just because it has feminist tendencies, but maybe something about relationships and stuff like that, where you're learning about trying to be a healthier partner and stuff like that.
Being able to communicate while having a child. Exactly.
Like, that would be definitely areas that you could educate yourself in and strive to become better with those qualities. And I was like, well, if you look at it like that, it's not so like low in comparison, I guess.
Yeah, it's way more, you can see the comparison between the two when it comes to educating yourself on your career. You can do the same when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your child.
Yeah.
It's just a misconception because we don't look at it that way. And again, it's that pedestal. What do we value? What you value is what you spend time on, what you invest in. You know what I mean? So if you, as a man, are not investing in yourself to be a provider, to be on the level of a woman who you say that you want, then shut up. You as a woman, if you're holding your career and your, you know, independence as like your tried and true highest value, but you say you want a man, then you kind of need to shut up too, because you have what you want already, right?
Check out our I Am Not Settling, Single and Happy episode.
You know, it's what's your value, you know what I mean? If that's top of your list, then hey, it's top of your list. Deal with the consequences of that.
Yeah, and I said that I want a man, and I have to grow as a partner, and being a mom I was already growing in that area and knowing what I wanted to do, because I wanted to be a mom. But yeah, wanting to be a wife changed my perspective, because you talked about that and how you wanted to be a good husband and in ways, qualities, and skills that you were looking for to fulfill that. And that was the first time that I was like, that's a thing that you can strive towards. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the same thing with me when it comes to finances. Like, I made no secret, like, on the podcast, like, I'm trying to get my money up. Mm-hmm. No doubt. Mm-hmm. I thought, and maybe I assumed, just, like, going to college really, like most millennials, like, go to college, get the job, you'll be fine. Fuck all that. I know the reality.
They lied.
Perception was college degree was on a pedestal. This is what I need.
Lied.
So now the reality is kicking in. You need more things. You need to be able to build your resources in other ways. So that's what I'm doing now. It's like, okay, switch it up. If your reality doesn't actually match what's going on, like your perception of reality. That's the difference, yo. I think that's the biggest difference. Like, you're able to say, okay, clearly something's wrong, otherwise this would be working, right? So then what's wrong? And then being able to question, was the thing that I've always thought to be right wrong? It's really hard for people to question.
Yeah. And mind you, Disney princesses,
all that shit,
Destiny's Child, like, we have a generation of women who were glamorized on the idea of not needing a man. So for those who want one, it good God, you see, I'm still struggling with it. Like,
I saw it.
It's hard out here, but like, I do want him. I've already told him he's irreplaceable. Like, I'm trying.
Irreplaceable.
Yes.
Shout out to Beyonce.
But I was like, because I did a episode on my Becoming a Feminine Woman series about that, and I was like, she was talking about he don't think you are, and I'm like, that's very fascinating. Yeah. Well,
I mean, that might have been an ancient nigga. That's okay.
That mediocre man, yeah.
Yeah, they exist. Nobody say that.
They do. But all right, so why do you think some women choose to be traditional wives? To finish out our two sides of the same coin segment.
Why they
choose
to be traditional wives? I think a lot of people, going back to my example at the top of the episode with my mom, I think they realize the value of being a mother and being a traditional wife and creating that atmosphere and environment. Like, being the homemaker is for sure appreciated. Like, I don't know if other men just don't express it like this, but I definitely understand the need and desire for having like a home. And I was saying this earlier when we were talking about coming up with the ideas for the episode and everything else like that. I was intentional about choosing you as a mom as well, to be the mother of my children as well, because that's the person who I want to spend the most time with. Think about it. Like, they're going to spend most of the time with a mom because it's just an initial bond and then that nurturing time. So the quality of woman that you choose is the quality of, like, the first couple of years that your child's going to experience. So if you have a son, you say, like, I want to raise, this large tribe or all that other stuff, where it's like, well, what are the women that you're choosing in order to nurture that tribe? Because if they're absorbing a bunch of toxic, bullshit, some love and hip hop, as they're doing whatever chores love and hip hop's on and all the other stuff is just getting absorbed in their minds and all that other stuff. I don't want none of that. But think about it, that's true. So it's also an investment in yourself and your legacy, fellas. It's not just about like picking the baddest bitch, like fuck.
At all.
Especially if all that shit fake, because then you're going to not know what's going to come out. Anyway. Story for another day, fellas. Story for another day.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just valuing that nurturing and being the homemaker and creating that environment. It's a lot of power. That is literally nurturing the next generation. That's powerful as fuck. But because we put on a pedestal the independent shit, it's like we forget all about that. And there's value in both. I'm not knocking the independent woman either, because some women, they need to be on that boss shit and they just really don't have the desire.
Some women don't want kids.
Yeah, they don't have the desire for that.
Or marriage.
Cool.
Like this. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. But for a lot of women, they want that.
Yeah.
And they're even trying to figure out, kind of like how you are, just like, what the fuck is this shit about? Because I know I had this innate feeling that I want this, but then that feeling's conflicting with the messages that I got. So it's like, and then you end up arguing on a podcast with the man you love for no goddamn cousin. You know, it should be happening. And that's my thought to conclude.
Thank you, baby. And yeah, you were saying earlier with the next generation concept that like we're understanding the value of teachers because of that. Like they are responsible. They spend 8 hours, 7 hours a day with our children, and they are literally raising the next generation. So why don't we also value mothers and wives as that as well?
Boom. Boom. I got nothing else to say right there.
I mean, you said it earlier.
I know.
Off the podcast.
But, you know.
Giving you credit, baby.
Passing it back and forth.
Because sometimes I don't give them credit. I just be like, I heard this. Oh, where I heard it from? Oh, did you tell me?
I appreciate you, love.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to take a break.
Let's take a break. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. We're having a lot of fun on this episode, as you can tell. So, hope
even though it got spicy.
I like the spice. I like a little spice. You know what I'm saying? A little spicy spice. A little fresh. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, we'll be right back, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in and tapping in with us. Peace.
And love.
For now. All right.
Welcome back.
What's up, beautiful people? We're back. So let's get straight into it.
All right. So our next segment is either or, both, and.
You already know this.
So I believe you won that coin toss.
Yes.
So you will be answering first.
Yes, I will.
All right. So the first question is.
Hit me with it.
Have modern women seen examples of positive feminine role models? Yes or no?
No.
Would have to agree? No.
No. I find that most modern women have had the exact opposite experience. So let me explain. They've seen kind of like what you were relating to with your mom, an example of femininity being taken not only for granted, but taking advantage of someone who is feminine. Mm-hmm. They see it maybe as weakness, or see it as a way. They see it as something that's not worth the effort to maintain or to develop. They see femininity as something that either they just have enough of it and they're born with it, and that'll be enough to get them through.
That's very true, yeah.
Yeah. Or they just kind of like neglect or reject the idea altogether. So those would be examples of maybe somewhat modern women who have got the career and all those other things, but maybe like in your position, like those two extremes. So maybe someone who's traditionally like, I was about to say traditionally modern. Somebody who's a modern woman in today's times, modern women who didn't necessarily buy fully into feminism, but doesn't know what direction to get her femininity from, because it's like, where are the resources? You know?
Yeah.
So somebody like that versus somebody who's bought totally into the demonization of femininity, who's like, no, I'm trying to get the bag. Those are girls who say suck my dick. Like, they be on shit like, fuck that. I don't give a damn about my femininity. I'm trying to get the bag. I am the man. Like, I am the whatever. Like, I am the alpha male. They'll even call themselves a man. Because of that. They like demonized it because they don't want to get taken advantage of. So I would say no.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I would also say there was a glamorization of especially single motherhood and of stepping into your masculine role and owning it. So there was that. And then, yeah, like you said with my mom, like, yeah, she was feminine, but that wasn't, my dad was entirely in his power and control complex. So I saw the feminine, but I didn't like aspects of it because of that. And again, what I was seeing him taking advantage of her.
She just made me think of something.
Yes, him seeing me seeing my dad take advantage of my mom. Like, I was like, I don't want to be in that position, you know. But like things where like my mom likes hosting and cooking and taking care of her family and decorating and just providing a home. Like there was some aspects I liked and some aspects I didn't. And yeah, like you said, I didn't know which direction to go in because I haven't had the examples. What do you want to say?
Just to connect to that, I think part of masculinity is appreciating femininity.
I mean, yeah, they coexist.
Right. Like, I think your dad wasn't able to do that, which is
at all.
Which is, well, I can't say that's the only reason why, but
so many
contributed to the reason why that relationship didn't work. Because how can you say that you want femininity and not show appreciation and create the environment where femininity is encouraged?
That's very true. Because he always just said, I could get a maid. Versus, like, appreciating all my mom does for the house.
Right.
You right.
So that's what I mean. That's a gem. That's a gem right there.
And like, even go back to our divine masculine and feminine energy episode in our Finding Balance series, where we talk about masculine and feminine energy both within humanity and outside of it. And it's like, if you look at yin and yang, they each have a dot of the other.
Right.
Because even though they're working in balance towards each other, you still need a little bit of the other inside of it in order to make things work, to have that appreciation. You know? Yeah.
That's good.
And that's what I want, and I see slowly with like our podcast, my YouTube channel, other YouTube channels, like women are starting to be like, wait, we need other examples of what feminine looks like, because there are a lot of women content creators who have like the traditional feminine, but it's like, again, modern women don't want that. Like, I'm not going back.
Right.
We're moving forward. So what's an example of moving forward where I can still hold my bag, but also step into this empowered feminine? You know?
Yeah, man. Like, femininity does not equal weakness. And again, if you're a guy, you need to reinforce and encourage feminine behavior and actually like make that be something to aspire to. Show the women in your life that her femininity is appreciated, and that if you do that more, I'll feed more into you, and then you can feed more into me. The yin and yang principle that you were just discussing.
So hopefully there's more of that to come. I have been on this journey, like I said, within the Finding Balance series, because I'm trying to think about what I want to teach my daughters. And I'm like, fuck, I have no idea, because I don't want to go back. So all we got is moving forward. So hopefully there will be more examples, especially just me, you know, as a role model for them. But hopefully there will be a change, a shift. We'll see. Don't know. But it's... maybe for my grandkids. Dang, the light went out again.
Yeah, right. We ain't had that much.
Yeah.
We just took a small break.
Alright, next question is...
okay.
Either you accept that many men want traditional wives, or you settle for men you don't actually want. So I don't know. This doesn't really...
You can't relate to me, so that's why I'm laughing at it.
But I guess as a man.
As a man, okay.
Yeah.
You gonna flip it on me?
Yeah. I don't know how. But as a man.
Okay.
I don't know how to either or it. Like, do you want a traditional wife? Or would you choose someone who's doesn't have any... like, she's totally not in her feminine. She doesn't want to be in her feminine. Like...
oh, I think you know the answer to that one.
Well, tell the audience.
Audience, listen to me. I picked the feminine woman. 100%. I don't want to deal with... well, go ahead. You have to pick for you. I forgot that we're doing
Oh, right.
I'm about to elaborate real quick.
I would say, except that men want traditional wives.
Yeah. So, I don't... it's kind of what I was saying before. The very fact that you're saying that you want to be able to teach our daughter... if we have one, you know.
If not, we're adopting. I mean, yes, their gender identity will, you know, be a factor, and that's their choice.
We'll talk about it.
Try my best.
Yeah, bro. We'll worry about it. All I know is I'm having a son. Several. Did that slip out? My bad. But yes, anyways, to my point, which I probably forgot at this point.
Something about men.
Men, we want like somebody who's gonna, to your point about raising a daughter, we want somebody, or at least I want somebody, let me not say anybody else, I want somebody who's gonna be intentional about teaching my daughter how to be feminine or the power of femininity, not the demonization of femininity. And also the same thing with masculinity. Because she's going to learn that from me. She's going to appreciate masculinity because I'm going to be that example. But I want there to also be an example of that femininity on your end.
And I think from both of us, because we both have access to each, that she's definitely going to learn both in different ways it can show up.
Right. That's the important thing. But if I'm with somebody who doesn't even think about that, then that's a problem. Just like with you, when we talk about rites of passion and all that other stuff, again, another reason why you chose me. Like, you don't want to be raising a son necessarily in that way. Wouldn't you want, like...
Yes.
That's what I mean. It's a good match. It's like, okay, I want my son to be raised by a man like that because I respect the man himself. Same thing with you. I want my daughter to be raised by this woman because I respect the woman myself. So a lot of y'all don't think about that when it comes to selecting a partner.
They really don't. I feel like it would be eye-opening, but then people don't really consider their children like that. So
yeah, it's like that's your legacy. That's like your biggest influence. Like, you're never gonna have more influence over this world than the next generation, to be honest. Like, that's what shapes this world.
Except, so like I said, as soon as I stopped deciding between the good guy and the bad boy, and it was all good guys, so then it was just like, damn, like, I want more. And seeing you and seeing all that you offered and just who you naturally are, it's like, and that's where I had to start growing. Where you would put your boundaries. I'm arguing by myself and you know, all this stuff. Like, I had to start growing. And I had to recognize that, yeah, you didn't want me bringing my masculine. Like, I think you... I
didn't word it that way, but yeah.
Yeah, you admired my masculine energy in the things that I was able to do professionally and educationally. But yeah, don't bring it home. Like, within our relationship. And that's where I had to start growing. And even, recognizing that you wanted something different.
Yeah.
Like, again, in the fact that I could see you respected the hustle outside of our relationship, but within it, you were like, yeah, something's got to change.
Yeah. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I didn't have the words for it at the time.
Yeah, no, we didn't at all.
I was just like, yo.
It was a struggle.
I was just like, yo, I don't like the way you coming at me. Like, what's up? Like, you want to fight? Like, I'm getting fight energy, and I'm like, but you're my partner, so what's up? Like, this not good. Yeah.
And I would say to the ladies, I forgot to mention this point.
What?
The women who say, I'm gonna be feminine for the man who's worthy.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about it.
Like, if you don't practice that shit,
right, you just gonna switch it on.
Like, no, it's not a light switch.
You just gonna be feminine.
If you masculine all of your life, and then suddenly you meet a man who you deem worth it, then you gonna switch on that feminine? Like, honey.
Come on, bruh.
It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Like, this shit takes practice.
Picture me.
That part as well.
Saying the same thing, like saying, "Oh, I'm feminine." Like, no, all right. It's also character time. Let's go. Let's get it. Y'all ready? All right, and scene. All right, we're in the club. Ready? Painting the scene for y'all. Yeah. Go ahead. Hey. Hey. We in the club. Hey. I walks up to the girl. She think I'm looking good. I'm all swagged out. Hey girl, what's your name? Oh my god, I love your earrings. Dude, can I have your number? Record scratch. Oh hell no. Don't worry, I'm gonna act very masculine as soon as we get together.
In a relationship, not dating.
In a relationship. You still want to go out? See the difference? Ladies, would you accept that? Fuck no. You would be like, that's a turn off. So how you think it feels when you come in with hella masculine energy like, I'm on my boss shit. I don't need a man. And your neck
right?
all,
Like, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Meanwhile, you're dating one, and he's like, well, then what am I here for? Bye.
Peace. Deuces. We out. You good. Your pedestal. Your independence. That's what you care about. You got that. So what else do you need? You got everything you want. Or maybe you need to question the things that you put on a pedestal and what you actually want.
Because I realized I wanted a man. I mean, I was well aware that I wanted a man, but then I was like, oh, my actions need to reflect that, so.
Right. That part.
My attitude, my mentality. Jesus. It was a lot of growth. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like me saying, man, I want to be rich and putting in no work. Ain't buying no equipment. Ain't putting in the work of the podcast. Ain't posting on YouTube. Ain't working to get my license. Ain't doing none of the shit that I'm doing. What the fuck? I must not really want it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a prime example, ladies. You can't just wait to turn on your femininity. The fuck? That's not how it works. A guy wants femininity from the jump, just like how you want masculinity from the jump. Y'all get pissed off at things I don't even think are feminine. Like if he doesn't offer to pay for the first date, or like if y'all go Dutch on the first date, I don't think that's feminine. But y'all kids will do for that.
Yeah, I'm like, bruh, I don't know you, and because I'm dating women, I'm like, bruh, I don't know you. Can I get to know you before I'm spending money on you? So like, that's an entitlement.
That's
shit.
a threshold right there.
Yeah.
So
show me who you are, so I can choose better. And that's another thing that I was gonna say, like. Yes, ladies, and this goes into our episode, ladies, you decide your own pain within our he toxic, she toxic, they toxic series. You need to get better at choosing your partner. This whole, like, I'm not going to be feminine until I have a man that's worthy. Well, you need to figure that out sooner rather than later.
Right.
I've gotten to a place, and I forget what episode I've said this on. I really don't know.
Check them all out.
You know? But I've gotten to a place where upon the first approach, that meet and greet, I'm able to see how they're responding, what questions they're asking to see if I want to go on a date with them. Yeah. Because again, if I'm making a decision from there, and it took me time to get there, then before that, it was like the first date, and then it was, okay, I don't feel like this is going to work, but let me try again because you never know. And it was learning to trust my intuition, being able to know what the red flags were, remember to know what my non-negotiables, things like that. So I got better with practice. But yeah, so now I can see upon the meet and greet whether or not I'm going to be able to be feminine. And if I'm not going to be able to be feminine and I have to have this wall because I can't trust you off jump, like, there's no reason I should invest in that.
Right. And that comes from being able to be in a place of healing. Because if you're in a place where everything triggers that masculinity out of protection for yourself, for your internal femininity. So internally you might be feminine, but you bringing out your masculine to protect that shit. If you're always triggered by that, then that means you need to do healing. If you have it as a safeguard and you know when to unleash your femininity to the world, then that's different. But a lot of y'all just are triggered by it, and then because you're triggered, you make up a reality that matches your trigger. So if a guy comes up to you and says hello, you're already like triggered. So then you're saying, oh, he was a creep. He wasn't a creep. He was saying hello, and you were already on guard. You don't know yourself. You don't know when to actually activate that masculinity. Because we all have masculinity in us. You were just always on guard 24/7, and therefore you have a wall up. And ain't nobody trying to knock down a wall to get to your femininity.
And women will say that men should.
For what? When there's a feminine person right there who's just like, my type.
Y'all gotta be honest with yourself about the options. Like,
stop it.
Why would a man fight?
Breaking your wall down just to get to your femininity?
And he don't even know what it looked like.
Right. And then you say you gonna show him after you break down the wall. Well, there's nothing there because you're so damn out of practice.
Ooh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? That's like robbing a bank. Like, oh, this is a femininity bank. Oh, don't worry, we got a masculine safe. Don't worry. Once you get past it and unlock the masculine safe, there's no femininity there. All the withdrawals are gone. Like, everybody took up all the money. There's no femininity in the bank. Nothing. You just got a masculine ass safe, protecting nothing.
All right, with that, let's go to the next question.
All right, last one, right?
Yep.
All right, what you got?
All right, so the last question of the show. Modern women say that they don't need a man. Will that change with lack of companionship and age? Yes or no?
I think yes, I think yes.
I honestly have no idea. I hope so. But I'm going to play devil's advocate and go with no.
So, yeah, I'm glad we get to explain. Because I say yes, they will
change.
They will change in terms of like, they'll realize.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they will change in terms of action.
That's what I was going with, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we agree. We worded it differently. So yeah, they'll have the aha moment of like, fuck, yo, they were right. All
I'm
these
50
people
years
on YouTube,
old. I want a man. Ain't nobody chose me.
Rocqi was right on Rocqi's reactions. Oh my gosh, why not listen to Rocqi on Rocqi's reactions? Oh my gosh, Rocqi's channel was right. Life is Rocqi. Oh my gosh, why should I just listen to her? I'm plugging the fuck out of her in case you didn't know.
Becoming a Feminine Woman series. Subscribe. Life is Rocqi.
Life is Rocqi. Alright, but yeah. Life is Rocqi was right. She was spitting facts. She was letting me know that I do need to be more feminine, more tapped in, and question these ideas of just masculine independence being the shit, the thing that I need to strive for and hold up on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have been seeing how I can be feminine. Maybe I should have enjoyed or appreciated the women who were feminine in my life who were doing well. Maybe I shouldn't just disregarded all those examples and seen them as being mindless women that were just in suffering under the patriarchy. Nah, not always, man. Like, some women are beautiful nurturers of the next generation. That's so powerful. And they are with people who appreciate them. So I think they'll realize it, and by then biologically it'll be too late for them to have children and stuff like that. And then when it comes to socially, they'll be very out of practice and probably be needing your services. Now, honestly, like, needing your services to really like reboot themselves and understand and reevaluate what they need and truly desire out of life. Because
I mean, yes.
Even men realize this at a certain point, like all the money and status and whatever. Why do you think men always want to like have a legacy, have a son, have something? Like, we know at the end of the day, like, yeah, money's cool, but yeah, you do need other things. So we get to it, and we're not even the more social beings. I can't imagine how it is for y'all.
I think
we all need each other.
They may realize it, but when it gets to that certain age, not saying for everybody, there are exceptions, but the rule is like a lot of women will hit 50s, maybe even 60s, and realize that they fucked up. And at that point, it's too late for change.
Yeah. And then that becomes like a cycle of bitterness.
And that's what I was going to say. And I'm like, that is scary to see what people will do with that aha moment.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is like, I think we both agree they're gonna recognize it. It's gonna hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
But what they do with that? What they gonna do with that realization of, oh fuck, it's just me.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Yeah, you know, we try to put out the information now. Yeah. I know it's hard sometimes.
Listen, y'all saw me struggle in the midst of this episode. Okay, it's hard.
Y'all seen it. I'm so glad I was on camera. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, damn, I wish I had a camera. I wish I was recording this moment right now. And then, woo, I knew it. We finally got it on camera, y'all. Fellas, we got her.
Listen, I say that I'm growing. I say that.
I appreciate it, because like, that's why I'm with you. That's why I'm with you, for real. Like, that's it right there. I need somebody who's gonna try with me, who aligns with my values, and yeah, we're on the same team. It's still a team. Like, we're still a team. Even if I say I'm captain, that don't mean that I'm scoring all the points. LeBron don't score all the points. He just happens to be one of the best players who distributes and is a leader on the court.
And it doesn't say that I'm also not a leader.
Right.
As you said, a good leader knows when to follow.
The best leaders do. And that's why I never resist following you when it comes to certain things. Mm-hmm. Now, when something, I'm like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. I will adamantly tell you. I would be like, no, you wrong with this one.
What is that?
I don't know. It's something that like, if it's just something like, you'll come to me with advice sometimes, and they'll be like, oh, hell no, like, you ain't thinking about this, because what if that happens? Especially when it comes to relationships or something else like that.
I don't know.
Other women or other stuff like that, like, yeah.
I don't recall the time. But...
It's okay. I mean, I don't recall it either. It's not like a lot of times. Most of the time, we're aligned, and that's what you really want. Mm-hmm. Like, if you on a team with everybody clicking, and you're a leader, you don't really got to do much. Everybody knows what their role is. It's usually a smooth... it's just a smooth, easy running machine. It's when your leadership comes up is when things go awry. And that's why I say I'm a good leader, because I'm usually calm in situations when things go fucked up.
I have anxiety.
So it's like, it's not that you can't lead. It's just like, in certain situations, it might not be great.
Who's the better leader? Who's the better leader? Yes.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I think that's it, right? We got anything else?
Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you for yours. Mm-hmm. You know? Look at all that femininity goofing out.
Shut up.
Just took some leadership. Real time, y'all. Y'all seeing this shit in real time. That's why I'm excited about it. Because it's like, this is it. Literally, this.
Oh, God.
Oh, you looking at the work.
Oh, gosh. It's been work. It's been a journey. That's for damn sure. And it ain't over.
Nah, it's not. And that's something you gotta accept. Just like I have my financial journey, my my masculine journey is never going to end. Just like I'm gonna hit the gym later today. All that. Like, we all gotta be on our shit, yo. No excuses. Be the best version of yourself. And then you'll have the best versions of your relationships. And then you'll have the next generation of the best version of themselves.
Yes.
That's what we trying to do, especially in the black community.
Yeah.
All that ego shit, let that shit go.
Mm-hmm. Grow.
Growth time, baby.
All right, with that, thank you so much for listening to It's So Real with your girl, Rocqi.
Hey, yeah, boy, so.
You have a beautiful day. Take care of you.
All right, y'all. Peace.
And love.
Always. We out. And you know this.
Man.
Yo.
Hey, It's So Real family. It's your girl, Rocqi.
And your boy, Elsa.
Thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell.
Right, because subscribing and hitting that notification bell does two very important things. One, it gives you notification on our new content and make sure that you're up to date on everything that we put out every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
And then number two, it helps your boy and your girl out with some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it on.
It's so real, baby.
But in all seriousness, this is just like the video portion, the YouTube portion of our content. We are It's So Real podcast. So we have all these episodes just waiting for y'all on how many platforms?
11 different streaming platforms.
11.
So it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, there's no excuses. We on everything. So whatever platform you're most comfortable listening to stuff, your content on, we're right there for you. So look us up. It's So Real podcast.
And our link tree is available on our YouTube channel. Go over there, find the platform that works best for you, subscribe to our podcast, and hear the full thing, because we have a lot more to say than what shows up on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. With that being said, check out the rest of our videos while you're here.
You know? And be sure to subscribe.
Alright, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And love.
Always.